Have you ever woken up feeling off, not sad, not angry, just heavy, and thought, why does everything feel like a struggle today? I have, more times than I can count. And here's the question that used to haunt me. If my energy affects my reality, then why can't I just choose to feel better? Because it's not that simple, is it? But what if I told you, after years of trial, error, and a lot of messy mornings, I've found 3 practical, grounded ways to actually raise my frequency every single day. Not in a fluffy, toxic positivity way. In a real, this actually works way. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll have a tiny toolkit that might just change how your whole day unfolds. That, let's be honest for a second. You know those mornings when your alarm goes off, and instead of feeling refreshed, you feel like you've already run a marathon in your dreams? Your mind is racing before your feet even touch the floor. You scroll through your phone, bad news, comparison, endless notifications, and suddenly your internal thermostat is set to anxious. And then you carry that into your day. You snap at someone you love. You procrastinate on something important. You eat lunch without tasting it. You feel disconnected from yourself, from others, from any sense of purpose. By 3 p.m., you're exhausted. Not because you did too much, but because you felt too much. Low-frequency emotions, guilt, worry, frustration, resentment. They're like static in the background of your soul. And the worst part, you know you should feel better. You've read the books. You've tried the meditation apps. You've repeated affirmations in the mirror. But nothing sticks. Because raising your frequency isn't about forcing yourself to be happy. It's about clearing the clutter so your natural light can shine through. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today. Here's what I used to do. I'd wake up and immediately check my email, my messages, my social media. I'd think, I need to respond, I need to plan, I need to perform. That's output pressure. And it drains your frequency before you've even had a sip of water. Now I do something different. I call it input control, and it's simple. For the first 10 minutes of my day, I consume nothing that requires a reaction. No notifications, no news, no comparisons. Instead, I sit with my coffee, or tea if that's your vibe, and I ask myself one question. What do I need to feel safe and steady today? Not what do I need to achieve? Not what's wrong with me? But what do I need to feel? Safe. Last Tuesday, I woke up feeling irritable for no reason. My first instinct was to check my phone and distract myself. But I paused. I put my phone in another room. I lit a candle, stretched my neck, and just breathed for 5 minutes. Within that quiet, I realized I was actually dreading a difficult conversation I had scheduled for that afternoon. By giving myself space before reacting, I was able to approach that conversation with clarity instead of fear. My frequency shifted from defensive to grounded, just by controlling my inputs. First, here's a trap I fell into for years. I thought if I could just think the right thoughts, I'd feel better. I'd overanalyze, journal obsessively, and intellectualize my feelings. But here's the truth. Your body and your frequency are deeply connected. You cannot think your way into a higher vibration. You have to move into it. Your nervous system holds on to old energy, tension, stress, unresolved emotions. And that energy stays stuck unless you physically release it. So now, when I feel my frequency dropping, heavy chest, shallow breath, tight shoulders, I don't try to fix my thoughts. I move my body. Real life example. A few weeks ago, I had a deadline that was overwhelming me. I felt paralyzed. I sat at my desk for an hour, scrolling and stressing, getting nothing done. Finally, I stood up. I put on one song, just one, and I danced. Not gracefully, not for Instagram. I just shook my arms, rolled my neck, and bounced on my toes for 3 minutes. That was it. And you know what? My brain cleared. My breathing deepened. I sat back down and finished my work in 20 minutes. Movement doesn't have to be a workout. It can be stretching, shaking, walking around the block, or even just jumping jacks. But when you move, you interrupt the low-frequency loop and give your body a chance to reset. I used to hate gratitude practices. They felt fake, like I was supposed to ignore my pain and pretend everything was amazing. But here's what I've learned. True gratitude isn't about denying the hard stuff. It's about widening your lens so you can see the good alongside the hard. I call this microgratitude, and it's tiny, specific, and sensory. Instead of saying, "I'm grateful for my family," which is true but vague, I say, "I'm grateful for the warmth of this mug in my hands. I'm grateful for the sound of rain outside my window. I'm grateful that I took 3 deep breaths just now." These micro moments are frequency anchors. They pull you out of your racing mind and into the present moment, where peace actually lives. Vs. Last month, I had a day where everything went wrong. My train was delayed. I spilled coffee on my shirt. I got an email that upset me. By noon, I was spiraling. But then I remembered. Find one tiny good thing. I looked out the window and saw a bird hopping on a branch. That was it. That was my microgratitude. And I held on to that image for a full minute. Did it solve my problems? No, but it interrupted the spiral. It reminded me that even on messy days, there are still small pieces of beauty. And that small shift in perception raised my frequency just enough to get through the rest of the day without crumbling. So here's what I want you to take away. Raising your daily frequency isn't about being perfect. It's not about meditating for an hour or chanting mantras, unless that's your thing. No judgment. It's about small, intentional choices. Protecting your mind in the first 10 minutes of the day. Moving your body to release stuck energy. And anchoring yourself in tiny, real moments of gratitude. You don't have to do all 3 at once. Pick one. Try it tomorrow morning. And notice how your day feels different, not because your problems disappear, but because you show up differently to them. And if this video resonated with you, if you felt that little click inside your chest, then please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Not because I need the numbers, but because if this message mattered to you, it might matter to someone else too. And when you subscribe, you're telling the algorithm, more of this, please. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting a community of people who are choosing to raise their frequency, one small moment at a time. So go ahead, click subscribe. Share this with a friend who needs a little lift today. And I'll see you in the next video, with more stories, more tools, and more real talk about living a life that feels lighter, even when the world feels heavy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And most of all, thank you for choosing to show up for you. Take a deep breath. You've got this. And I'll talk to you soon.